are joined by representatives from some of our leading companies in the tech industries. We have getting more and more attendees, so that's really nice to see. I'd like for us to start, for those who just joined the call, I'd like to mention our panelists for today. So we have joining us today is Canva, represented by Barry Mesa, Western Digital represented by Rhea Lobronio Lagro, and Great Deals E-commerce Corporation represented by Patrick Earl Gonzalez. So let's start.
Let's go.
Yeah, so let's start with Barry. If you could introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Canva.
All right. Thank you, Johan. So first, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Grad.ph, for bringing us together today. It's really great to have this opportunity introducing Canva and sharing some thoughts on how we can be successful kicking off the journey, particularly with the current situation at hand. So as you know already, my name is Barry. You can call me Barry for short. I've been working in Canva for a year now. But so far, I do have 9 years of talent acquisition experience. In my previous life, I have been really building up companies in Manila, from startups to multinationals, setting up centers here. So that's really what I've been busy doing all those years. Well, enough about me. Let's talk about Canva. So as you know already, Canva is a global visual communication tool. So our mission is to empower the world to design. So anyone, despite of their background, should be able to create wonderful design, and that's by using Canva. So simple ways of creating beautiful designs, from presentations, infographics, videos, and of course, social media graphics. So far, right now we do have more than 55 million users across 190 countries. I'd say that 85% of Fortune 500 companies are actually using our platform. And fun fact, 100 designs are created in Canva every second. So that's Canva for you.
Thank you so much, Barry. It's really nice to get an overview of Canva and good fun facts also to share. So yeah, let's go now to Western Digital with Ms. Rhea. If you can tell us about yourself and your organization as well.
Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rhea, and I am the Talent Acquisition Manager at Western Digital. So a little bit about myself. So I've been in Western Digital for 13 years. I've built my career there over the years. So Western Digital is a leader in data infrastructure that helps customers access, preserve, and capture and transform an ever-increasing diversity of data. So as we know, that data growth is in zettabytes now. So data lives everywhere. When we browse Facebook or social media, when we go to hospitals and have ourselves tested, when we go to agricultural farms, etc. So from advanced data centers to mobile sensors and personal devices, Western Digital works with customers every step along the way. So the company of brands and data-centric solutions comprise of the Western Digital, the G Technology, SanDisk, and the WD brands. So we are located in Binyan, Laguna, actually. So it's a multinational company. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rhea. And yeah, it's really good to know about Western Digital, that they're not just limited into one location, but they're also hiring in different locations as well, like Ms. Rhea mentioned. So our last panelist who will be introducing Great Deals, Sir Patrick.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm Patrick Earl Gonzalez. I'm an HR practitioner with more than a decade of expertise in the HR profession, from talent acquisition, employer branding, compensation, benefits, employee engagement, culture, and a whole lot more. Okay, so that's my profile. In terms of Great Deals, so we are the country's biggest and most successful e-commerce solutions provider, enabler, and distributor. And considering that the digital economy is booming right now, e-commerce, a career in e-commerce is definitely one of the things that you can look forward to. So with regards to if fun fact, chances are if you have bought something from Shopee or Lazada or sabihin natin GrabMart, Food Panda, Grocer, chances are is that you have transacted with us. So if you are very much willing, if you are very much hungry to start a career in the booming and exciting industry of e-commerce, then you should check out our careers.
Thank you so much, Sir Patrick. So for everyone that's in the session, I'd like to highlight that like I mentioned, we are in the tech industry panel session, but I'd like to highlight this is a really good mix of tech here because we're not limiting tech as data and software, but tech as an industry with Canva modernizing and advancing the creatives industry. We have data and software with Western Digital and the synergy of retail and technology with Great Deals e-commerce. So I think it's a good mix of highlighting the industry that is technology. So thank you so much for your introductions, and we'll now proceed to the fun part. So we have some questions for you that were sent in advance by some of the students and grads that are interested in joining your industry. But for our attendees today, we already have 45 and counting. There's still a lot coming. If you have any questions, feel free to add them in the chat function or the Q&A function of the webinar. And if we have time, we'll try and answer them later. So I'll be sharing the links also to their profiles when you can learn about them and then apply to their open jobs and opportunities. So to start off, our first question would be, what would be the most important piece of advice you give to students aspiring to work for an organization in this sector? So I think if we can start with Ms. Rhea from Western Digital.
All right, sure. So working in Western Digital, well, innovation is at the heart of any technology. So it's our desire to innovate that drives us. So we're not afraid to take risks. We work on breakthrough solutions. What advice I can give to aspiring candidates is we have this as a culture: fail fast and learn faster. So if you're looking for an agile environment that is a passion for innovation, then Western Digital is for you.
Thank you so much for that advice. How about you, Patrick of Great Deals?
Okay, the e-commerce setup is definitely one of the fast-changing environments as we speak right now. So the work environment is very fast-paced, and if you would be starting a career in the e-commerce industry, there are two things that is very important. Number one, you have to have that willingness to learn. Okay, a lot of us in the e-commerce industry, specifically here on Radius, really came into the company and totally we don't have that solid e-commerce background. So we were learning along the way. So we were learning as we progress with our respective careers. So you need to have that strong sense of willingness to learn, and you need to have the hunger to learn. Okay, willingness and hunger to learn, that's one of the key important things for you to be with an organization, specifically with the e-commerce industry.
Okay, thank you so much, Patrick. How about Barry from Canva? What advice would you give for those who are aspiring to work in your organization?
Right. So as you know, guys, Canva is a design organization or creative company. So if there's an advice that I'll probably give to everyone is this thing: being creative is the new normal of this situation. Being creative in the sense that you being creative in presenting your CV, being creative in the ways of thinking and communicating, and creative in achieving your goals. So there might be generic in some sense, but I'll talk about in the world we're in, it's virtual, pretty much how do you make sure that you stand out, and does it really that's really making a black and white CV make you stand out during these days. Maybe you have to revisit the idea of what is really a good CV for you. In terms of thinking on communication, gone are the days that, it's about emails. With the current time right now, it boils down you really getting the attention of your viewers. So you might have to use all those presentations capability online using, go to Canva, use all the possibilities out there. Creativity and achieving your goals in a sense that there's no one right way, no straight way on getting your path at this point. You have to be creative in thinking outside your box right now. So there are so many paths to probably climbing up a mountain. It doesn't mean that there's only one trek to the top of the mountain. If you have to probably, I don't know, ride a helicopter, that might be a way, or maybe do a zip line, that can be a way. So yeah, being creative is the new normal. That's my advice for you.
Thank you so much, Barry. So just to synthesize their answers or their advice that they'd like for you guys who are aspiring to work in this industry, I think first one is, I think overall our overarching advice is innovation, because that covers the creativity, that covers the willingness to learn, being able to innovate, not just the way you think, but also yourself, your skills, and being able to adapt at this industry where it's rapidly changing and upgrading every day. So I think that's the key takeaway. And if you have key takeaways that you also want to share with everyone, make sure you chat it in the chat box. Choose the panelists and attendees so that other attendees can also learn from your key takeaway. So our next question for our panelists is, what is your organization looking for in an application? So what do they need to show to progress to the next round? Let's start by hearing from Patrick of Great Deals.
Okay, for great deals, just like what I've said a while ago, a lot of us here has totally no background when it comes to e-commerce industry. Even I myself, I'm an HR practitioner in the food and beverage industry, and who would have thought that I would land a career in the e-commerce industry? Now, with regards to a common denominator between our candidates or people who have been accepted with the organization, I think it's that sense of commitment, loyalty, and integrity. So this is more of values based. So you need to show us that you can make us see that you have that sense of commitment, loyalty, and integrity, because we are very much willing to teach you. We are very much willing to coach you, to mentor you, all the technical stuff. So it's a matter of how can you make us see that you are a good return of investment. Because let's admit it, business is a business. Okay, when employers hire people, then that definitely means that they are investing with this new hire, with this new employee that they are bringing into the organization. So they are expecting a return of investment. And you as a new employee or as a newbie with the organization, you have to make them see that they were not wrong in giving you that opportunity. So make each and every day count for you to make them see that they were able to have a good return of investment with you.
Wow, that is really a good answer. That's not something that's really something that's out of the box and not something that we hear from our recruiters every day. So I hope that you're able to, thank you so much for that, Patrick. Hope our attendees are able to learn from that. Next one, we can go with Canva, Barry of Canva. So what do they need to show you for them to be able to progress to the next round?
Sure. So I think definitely I agree with Patrick there, just really knowing how they can be an added value to the business. One of the I'd say key scenes of new commerce in the industry during the hiring process is they think the interview is about them, getting to know them and stuff like that. The hiring process is about the goal of the organization to find the best talent for the organization. So you have to put that in mind. And what it means that they will be checking up things on how this goal will be achieved by hiring you. So and you as a candidate should focus on that goal. how do you present yourself as the best candidate for the role? As for Canva, I'd say I'll go away with the technicalities because it's a given thing. But if there's something that we will consistently look at all the roles here, it's this person being aligned to our values. So our values are pretty simple. Being a good human, being a force for good, and a couple of stuff that I'd say really straightforward. So we want to make sure that the candidates that we talk to embrace these values and live by these values. Another thing that we look at is really indicators of capability and success of these people. So normally there would be the projects, the initiatives of this candidates that have taken in the past, how they have acted in previous situations, and how have they lived by and stood with whatever they believe in, and probably how they measure success and how they define success. So those are the things that we look at it. And of course, on top of that, again, it boils down on how they embrace the values of the organization. So that's what we're looking for.
Thank you so much, Barry. What about Western Digital, Ms. Rhea?
Hello, I actually echo both Patrick and Barry's answer to the question. So more than the technical capabilities, we also look with equal proportion on candidates' behavior and character, so behavioral tendencies. So these can be observed through leadership experiences in the academe. How did you work with teams? How did you solve a problem? Systems thinking also is one important element that we look for in a candidate. We also look for curiosity and proactiveness, your strong passion for learning, what's your perspective around learning, what you do during your weekend, etc., to name a few. So basically all behavioral tendencies. So if you possess these behaviors, and most likely you jump to the next level of the assessment.
Thank you so much. Those are really good insights. So I think my key takeaway for this is it's not just the technical aspect of what degree you finished, the skills that you have right now, the technical skills you have right now, but what's really important that they're also looking for is, of course, the values, your personality and your skills, your eagerness to learn as well, and how you'll fit into the organization. So any key takeaways for our attendees, feel free to add them in the chat box so that everyone can learn as well. So our next question is, for example, our attendees here already submits their application and they land a job with you. What advice would you give to them to help them survive and thrive in the first year, and tips on what they shouldn't do? So this time, let's start with Barry.
All right. So, well, I do have a couple of advice here, but I'd say I condense it to three main points rather. So first, it's really building relationship with your mentors and peers. Well, in a world wherein you interact on the screen, what really matters at this point is how you connect with people despite the lack of physical contact with them. You as a newbie, basically, I would bank that you were hired because you have the potential. So the next step for you is how you would fit in to that organization and work together with the people around you. So you being able to work with the people around you means that you will get the context that you need to operate in that environment. Basically, you getting the context would mean that you will be set up for success in how you would do things there. So when you know the right people and you have that good relationship with them, it opens possibilities. It also enables these people to give you feedback, right, in a way that it will be construed positively because you have that relationship with that people. Of course, having that good relationship will also make your job a lot easier. If you know who does what, who does this and that, definitely it will make your day easier, a lot better. A second advice is really on your first year of work, take on something big. So I think um, I think for those candidates who are in the early stage of their career, they have the, I'd say, time was on their side, is on their side yet. So basically, nothing to worry if you may not be really successful right away. Take on something big that you get to learn things. Basically, it's a win-win situation. If you didn't really that succeed, you will get to learn things. If you will succeed, you have learned things and you have succeed. So there's no losing, points from that. And don't be afraid to fail, which is pretty much connected to that. So take risks, work on ambiguities in this world we're in. We at this point, I think one of the big challenges really, what is the future for us. So there's really uncertain things right now. So let's not this be a showstopper for you. Continue working on be able to navigate this ambiguities, this lack of information at hand, and still act on it. One thing that you should not be really doing is really staying at your comfort zone, particularly in your early years. This is the time for you to experiment. This is the time for you to take risks. This is the time for you to probably fail. So go on and live your life. That's my advice.
Thank you so much, Barry. Let's go with Ray of Western Digital. What do you think they should do to survive and thrive in their first year?
Hello. So, adding to Barry's answer, my one advice to aspiring candidates or to fresh graduates is learn and unlearn. So, the world of work is vastly different from the university life, whereas in the university life, pretty much of the information is available to you. You were fed with information. In the world of work in general, you will have to look for the answers yourselves. You will have to unlearn the academic approach and learn the discipline of problem solving. You may not find the exact topics, the courses that you discuss in the university, in the company, because it's multidisciplinary. But more importantly, I echo also Barry's answer a while ago. In the world of work, you will have to work with colleagues who are more tenured, who have long years of experience in the company, who have more practical applications or subject matter experts in the technology that you're working with, whereas you only have the theories. So you have to find a way to work with them with different personalities and learn with engineers and scientists that with different personalities to help you survive your first year. That's also one of the most important thing that we give that we share to our new college graduates upon entering the Western Digital, upon onboarding Western Digital.
Thank you so much, Ray. I think it's a really good point to the learn and unlearn and the difference of taking in what you learn from university and now you have a new environment in the workforce where it's all up to you and it's all up to your discarte on how are you going to pick things up and go with the pace in the organization that you join. So that's a really good tip. Let's go with Patrick of Great Deals. What would be your advice?
Okay, so the e-commerce landscape is very fastly changing, and you need to be very adaptable to it. Okay, so if ever you have been given the opportunity to be accepted, you have to understand this. To be accepted is an achievement. Okay, but to survive, that's a totally different story. Okay, so you need to be absorbing the learnings that your respective coaches and mentors would be giving it to you, that they would be handing over to you. So these are people who believes in you. Okay, so cherish that. Okay, make them see, just like what I said, make them see that you are a good return of investment. Okay, problems come and go. That's one of the realities of being part of the workforce, okay? And you need to have this good fighting spirit, because this is one of the only things that's gonna keep you going for you to survive. Okay, you need to have that fighting spirit. If there would be moments in which you find yourself in doubt that you can't do this anymore, find the very reason why were you accepted. Why did you accept this opportunity in the first place? Because that means you're up for the challenge. Okay. And with regards to the opportunity of being part of the e-commerce industry, um, being part of this very fast-changing environment definitely requires a lot of patience and understanding on your end. Okay, so specifically here on Great Deals e-commerce, if ever you have been hired to be a part of this organization, and this organization holds the reputation of the country's biggest and most successful e-commerce solutions provider and enabler and distributor, please bear this in mind. And please remember these words that I would be saying. We will break you. And that is true. Yes, we will break you for you to pick up the pieces and reinvent yourself to be a better version of yourself. And the only person that I know who is triumphant or this or who would be benefiting on this is yourself. So we will break you and expect that.
Thank you so much for that, Patrick. Really good insights from all of our panelists. So they have different insights, and really nice to get to know all of those insights, because it's a good mix of some things that you can apply into all of the organizations. So it's not industry or it's not organization specific, but all of them you will be able to pick up something and apply it to whichever organization you're going to apply it to, and you'll be able to join. So yeah, I hope with all those advice you'll be able to survive and thrive in your first year in your career life. So just to recap or to sum up our session for today, I'd like to ask for your final word in one sentence. Why should students apply with your organization? So let's start with Rhea of Western Digital.
I can promise one sentence.
Yeah, and it's not pressure with a one sentence.
Okay, so what can what I can share to students and aspiring applicants is that if you wanted to join Western Digital, or if you wanted to be in an organization wherein you will solve the world's unique problems, because we are the leader in data infrastructure and the largest market share in the world. The world needs us right now. When you browse for Netflix, when you go for car navigations, everything social media, when you take a picture of the black hole. So Western Digital is the organization that if you're curious enough to work on those kinds of problems of the world, then Western Digital is for you, because we give the world the power to preserve the past and foresee the future. We were awarded as in the third time in a row, the most ethical company in the world. We provide a balance between work and personal life. We believe in equity, inclusion, and diversity. We promote the spirit of volunteerism. We promote fun at work. So really, this is a caution. The organization is a caution that are a sandbox for young engineers and young-minded people and scientists to discover and uncover and unleash the power of data and your brains. So there. That's not one sentence. Sorry.
It's all good. That's really interesting and exciting for all of those participants in the call that are really looking into problem solving and joining your organization to help solve the problems of the world. So really exciting stuff happening at Western Digital. Okay, how about Great Deals e-commerce? Why do you think applicants should join your organization?
Well, I don't think I can do it in one sentence as well. Okay, but anyways, why should you consider a career with Great Deals is this: invest in your future. Okay, the future is now, and we are one of those organizations who is on the front line of investing in the future. Okay, before we're not really. I mean, e-commerce was not a totally big thing, but look at us now, where we're going digital. And I believe a lot of you has performed e-commerce transactions once or twice in your lives. Okay, and that is what we do. Okay, so invest in your future. The learnings, that you would be gaining here won't just be applied professionally, but to your respective personal lives as well. The values of tapat, malasakit, and gawa, we imbibe these values. Okay, and in terms of what to expect with this organization, working or being part of Great Deals is being exposed to a work environment which is fun, collaborative, yet objective. So we get things done. Okay. Yes, we know how to have fun, we know how to collaborate, but we get things done. Okay. And if you are very much open, if you are hungry to invest in your future, then I'm inviting you to start your career with Great Deals E-commerce Corporation.
Thank you so much. Really exciting. The e-commerce industry is really just booming, especially with the pandemic happening. Like everyone had to fast track their way to e-commerce. Not just like the big players. Even SM right now is doing personal shopping, and all of the small medium enterprises that are not used to going digital, now they're forced to look into ways to innovate as well. So thank you so much, Patrick. How about Canva? I know that there are a lot of exciting participants here that are wanting to join your organization.
Yeah, I actually prepared a one-liner thing, but I'm happy to do some adjustments. So, probably I'll share both so as not to waste my effort this morning. So, if I would probably, say it, why would you join Canva in one sentence? It's pretty much if you want to be part of something bigger, be part of changing the world, and in terms of designing, in terms of visual communication, then join Canva. Canva is the destination for you. But more than that, Canva is pretty much awarded as the best place to work 2020, 2021 consecutively. We have been rated as one of the best workplace across different platforms. You can check Glassdoors about our culture. So if you want an environment that would challenge you, an environment that's really dedicated in doing the good for the community, then join us here at Canva.
Thank you so much, Barry. Again, I'm going to go back to my sentence when we started this session. We really have a good mix of organizations here and not just limited to data. We have a diverse organization that you can apply to, like whatever degree you finished, whatever technical experience you have, you'll be able to join these companies that are represented by our panelists today. So awesome. That wraps up our industry panel session for today. Thank you so much for joining and doing this session.
Johan?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not sure. Should we answer the Q&A questions? Sorry, I'm seeing it here and I'm conscious.
I
yes.
also saw it.
Yeah.
I got three questions on my inbox right here.
Okay, sure. I'm just conscious of time, but if you are happy to answer these questions, then we can definitely extend. Are you okay to answering these questions? Maybe we can go one for each.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, okay. So let's start with the first question by Moses. How about when we submit resumes? I think this is the correct question. Online, but we're not able to receive a call or response from the company.
Okay.
Would you want to answer that, Patrick?
So technically what he's saying is that he has submitted an application and yet no response from any representative. Okay. Chances are, Moses, is that the recruitment team or the HR people with that organization has a lot of candidates to process. Okay, you have to understand that recruitment practitioners or HR practitioners are processing a lot of candidates on a daily basis. Okay, so the thing here is that you have to make that effort of cutting the line. Okay, let's say if you are going to apply in a job portal, you have to remember that you're not the only candidate who applied to that position. So you are up against a lot of candidates. So the thing here is for you to cut that competition. So here's one of the things that I could advise to you. What you can do is to find out through LinkedIn who are the recruitment or HR people working for this organization that you are targeting, and then strike a casual conversation, make that connection so they could remember you. So you are already cutting the competition through that strategy. So make yourself stand out amongst others. So that's the best tip that I could give you, which is pretty much applicable because I personally that's what I've done.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Really good answer right there. So our next question is from Hara. I'd like to ask this for Western Digital, Rhea, since I know you have different locations and different plants. How do you or your company support or take care of your employees during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Okay, happy to answer. So, since at the onset of the pandemic, well, Western Digital is a manufacturing company, a development and shared services company in Binyan, Laguna. We are more than 9,000 employees in the plant. So, how did we support our company? Well, at the onset, we have strict protocols on site. At the onset, when there were challenges in transportation, we provide them hotel accommodation. And then we didn't cut on the salaries. What else? We have really strict protocols inside. Health declaration checks is one. We support them for testing. We have a very sophisticated heat map on contact tracing. And what else? And all the basic minimum requirements of IATF, we comply. So we even consulted with epidemiologist organization. It's called Health 101 to help us provide with safety protocols inside and safety measures to help establish our safety measures. And they audit us once in a while to learn if we're complying or not. So really strong support on COVID-19 pandemic. So far, our case is not zero. Well, we had some cases in the past, but we took care of those employees in terms of pay, in terms of leave treatment, in terms of even groceries, so that employees feel the warmth and support of management in times of crisis. So there.
Thank you so much. I think that's a really reassuring answer in terms of being able to feel the help from an organization when you are while we are in the pandemic.